What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to show y'all how to use some diminished passing chords. We're going to be in the key of B flat minor or C sharp major. So we'll do both. B flat minor is B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, and then back to B flat. Then the C sharp major, we really going to be really in C sharp, because I'm going to call this the 6. I'm not going to confuse you and call this the 1 and all that. But C sharp major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp, and C sharp. So all the notes are sharp in C sharp. So let's see, like if we did a 7-3-6 in C sharp, you would have, that's a C half diminished. You could do, that's a F dominant 7 with a flat 9, and then it's take you to your 6 B flat minor. So if we did that, the passing chords come before the minor chords. So going to your 6, you go a half step down from B flat, which is, so that's the third, or it's a few ways you could look at this. That could be your first, third, fifth, or seventh, because in a diminished chord, any note of that chord could be the root. But since we on A, we're just gonna say it's A diminished 7. So if I'm going to B flat minor, the diminished that I will play before that is this. So A diminished 7 to B flat minor. And then if we did a 3-6-2, it would sound like this in C sharp. So that's F half diminished, B flat dominant 7 with a flat 9 to E flat minor. So it's the same chords as going to your 7-3-6, 3-6-2. It's the same quality chords for the first ones, half diminished, half diminished. Second chord, dominant 7 with a flat 9, dominant 7 with a flat 9, and then that takes you to your 6, and that one takes you to your 2. So I'm gonna do both of them, and then the other one. So this will also work if you in E flat minor. That would be the same progression. And if you were in, like say we were in F minor, and you was going to your 2 of A flat, which is the B flat minor, you could do that same thing to get to your 2. I wanted to add these scales too. So when you in B flat minor, any minor key really, it's always a few minor keys that you could pull from. So when I'm thinking, okay, if I'm in B flat minor, you have Aeolian, you have Dorian. Dorian is another minor scale that you could pull from. It depends on the progressions and chords you're playing, but Dorian. You have Phrygian, which is based on the 3rd of the scale. Still B flat minor. What else? Harmonic minor is when you sharp the 7, which is one of them that we're going to be using with these diminished chords, which you see that right there. So that's a giveaway. Your harmonic minor is that's a key scale when you're using. So that what's the other one I was going to use? Melodic minor. Yes. Yeah, melodic minor. So melodic minor is So this is a melodic minor. The the way I remembered these, or the way I learned these to remember them, the first four. So if I'm in B flat, the first four notes are my major scale, and the last four notes is B flat minor scale. So you can look at it like this. So the first four, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's B flat major, and then the last four is B flat minor, or really this is in both. The fifth is in both F, but so so this scale will be used for going to your two. So you see the E flat minor is in there too. Well, I gotta do that. But because this E flat minor is in there, and then when we did that diminished, that's like this. That's this scale. That's this scale. That's all that is. And then this one is just harmonic minor. So when people solo and stuff, this is the vocabulary or the foundation that they're thinking of, because you know your options. So if I'm playing B flat minor, and I just showed y'all all those different scales you could use for just that chord. So I'm gonna try to do this. Now this one you would use if you had a E flat, if you were playing like an E flat and in a B flat minor key. If you was in B flat, remember we just centering everything around B flat minor because I'm tired of saying it. But if you had an E flat in there somewhere in a song or whatever you playing, that will open up that Dorian mode. Because you still have to stay in that center, but just that note alone gives you access to the Dorian. So it's still, every note is the same other than this G. All the other notes are the same. You just sharpen this to this. What other ones did we say? We did the harmonic minor and the melodic minor. Those are the ones that those diminishes are based off of. Aeolian is the regular. That's a regular minor key. And then we said Phrygian. So the way to unlock a Phrygian mode, you have to have, so okay, we're in B flat minor, but let's just look at it like we're in C sharp, because it's easier for everybody, like especially if you're in a band setting, it's easier to just relate to major scale. So if I'm on my 6 of C sharp, if I flat my 7 in C sharp, it gives me a B flat major, which it unlocks this note right here, and that's the note I need to get, to unlock that Phrygian. So, and that's how you unlock those different scales. So, minor. So that's all that is. So I'm not gonna go too deep into that either, but I just wanted to say that. So if I'm going to B flat minor, the diminished chord that I'm playing is this. So the lick, or the way I would get to it, so I would do, and this is, I'm just outlining this in a different way. So all it is, and then it goes to B flat minor. So that's what I'm doing right there. So if I said, so that's one way you could do it. Just getting to your 6. How I would get to my 2 So if you look at the two, E flat minor, 5-1 will be B flat to E flat, which usually when you go into a minor chord, it's always be preceded by either a major or some type of dominant. Which, if you look at this, if you look at the diminished that comes before this E flat, that's a half step down. To me, I see a dominant chord. So if I add that B flat, it's just that same chord that we did before, the dominant 7 with a flat 9. So we got the 1, 3, 5, the minor 7, and then your flat 9 is this B. So, and that takes you right to E flat minor. So I'm gonna do the first one again. So getting to B flat minor. So the way I look at this, so I know I'm doing the A diminished, but what I'm to get that lick, I just go a fourth up from the B flat when in my right hand, and then I go down to. So that's the chord, but I'm not playing these two middle notes. I'm only playing. So I'm going from here to here, but I'm only playing the outer notes, the notes on the outside, and then it take me to, and so I'm gonna play it just full chord so you can see what I'm saying. So that's the lick. So it's, and you're on B flat minor. So I'm gonna do it again with the full chords. So you're doing diminish, diminish, minor, minor, diminish, diminish, minor. So that's to get to the 6. Now going back to the 2 again. So preceded by a dominant or some type of major chord, that's usually how you get into your minors. It does not every instance, but a lot of times it is preceded by some type of diminished or dominant. So how I'm gonna do this lick, so that's just, to use it as chords if you did that. But a lick you can do is, you can do, so this is a little simpler than going to the 6. So you're doing same thing, diminish, diminish, minor. So I'm just remember I'm only using the outside notes of the chord. So if I'm voicing it like this, then I'm only gonna play, and I'm leaving these two notes out. And then if I'm going here, I'm only gonna play these two notes. So, and something else that's gonna really change the sound of your playing, not playing the root note in the bass of these chords. Like if you play in the third in the bass, completely different sound. But I love that. So. But technically, if you're in a band setting and you do that, your bass player is still gonna be on E flat. But if doing talk music or something, if you're just playing solo piano, it's good to experiment with that kind of stuff. You don't always have to do it. So diminish, diminish, and that takes you to your minor. So the first one, going to B flat minor, you're doing, and then the second one going to E flat minor. So if I did 6, So it's, you know, it's just give you a, like, open your vocabulary up a little bit. So you do. So when you hear people playing and you hear little stuff like that, is that's all it is little simple stuff that just make it sound. If you put it in the right place, it just sound real, you know, uh, complicated sometimes. But just the more, the more you know, the more you have access to. I mean, that's just the reality of it, and understanding how these diminished chords move and where they lead to, because that's really the main thing, knowing where it's supposed to go or what's supposed to happen after it. A lot of times people don't know. So when you play something, if I play this, it's 4 minor chords that this one diminished will take me to. So B flat minor, C sharp minor, E minor, and G minor. And the way I'm using it is as leading tone. So all of these are a leading tone to a minor, even you can say major chord too, but all these are leading tones to another tone. So your 7 is a leading tone to the 1. So A is a leading tone to B flat. C is a leading tone to C sharp or D flat. E flat is a leading tone to E. And then F sharp is a leading tone to G. So this can be used for 4 different minors. So you got to remember that. So when you end up on this chord, or so we're not gonna get too much into that, but that's you know, that's kind of what I'm thinking in my mind when I'm playing this stuff. So let's do that progression again. So we in C sharp, or yeah, we in C sharp major, but we doing a 7-3-6, and instead of doing it like that, we just did, you doing, or or you could do, and then the 3-6 too. But instead we doing